Well, hello, everyone. This is Raquel, and I want to welcome you to the Equinox. We are already at the 22nd of September, and this is a energy of the equinox that is bringing us back into balance. It is an equal light to equal day, or equal light in the day to equal light at night. And this is a significant time in the cosmos that is bringing us a support system to bring ourselves back into balance. And so we are sitting in at the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere, and of course, the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere as we begin to change what we refer to as the seasons on this beautiful planet of Gaia. And as we are sitting here at this particular equinox, the balancing energies that are coming forth at this time to help us step into a much more, how could I say it, equalized state of being this year has been extraordinary on so many levels. And we have been through so many experiences that were very unexpected and things that we have never had to deal with before as a human society within our own experience in our day-to-day lives. And now that we are almost to the end of September, we're moving very quickly into the last quarter of 2020. This equinox is really starting to breathe much more balance into our experience as we move into the last stages of 2020. As you know, the equinox is all about balance, and we're talking about balance on every single level of experience and consciousness. And as we sit in these beautiful experiences as unique divine signature frequency beings of light, we are also part of the collective. We are also part of the totality of all that is. And so while we sit together in this amazing time and we work on our own inner consciousness and moving forward in the outer world, the idea that we are doing this as a singular being is something that needs to shift quite profoundly for all of us. Although everything is an inside job, we are consciously working on our individual awareness, the impact that we have in the totality, the impact that we have in the collective is so much more than you can possibly imagine. And as we continue to raise our frequencies and move into higher states of consciousness and higher levels of balance, we are affecting the whole in ways that, quite frankly, our human brain can't even wrap our heads around. And so as we experience the outer world as it is playing out on this beautiful planet of Gaia, all of the things that are happening as we continue to move forward into higher levels of consciousness, it's important to remember once again that everything that you do to stay balanced, everything that you do to move into higher levels of joy, happiness, and abundance affects so much more than what you could possibly imagine. And I want you to really sit with that for a moment because we get lost in the singularity of our experience. We get lost in the fact that we're one of 7 billion people on the planet. And we allow at times, not always, but at times, to feel insignificant. And that is so far from the truth. When you look at this from a higher perspective, when you think of your expression in the quantum, we are all connected at incredible levels. And so it's important to recognize, not from an ego level, but from one of higher states of consciousness, that as you continue to move forward in your consciousness and in your daily experience from higher perspectives, your impact is immeasurable. And as we continue in this somewhat uncharted territory, somewhat very uncharted would be a much more accurate statement in the current global situation, as we move more confidently in knowing that our individual efforts, our willingness to continue to push the envelope, our willingness to step into higher levels of joy and connection. Because if you're listening to this activation, there's something very, very, very deep in your core where you know, despite what's playing out in the world around us, you know that this is such an exciting time to be alive. And you know in your soul, even though everything on the outer world may be trying to convince you differently, you know in your soul that things are shifting profoundly. And it is this time in cosmic history why you chose to embody. And we are building such immense momentum as more and more continue to awaken to their truth. We are truly on the threshold, if you will, of really moving into a mass awakening on this planet. And I know when you look through your human eyes in the outer world, if you're looking at the news and paying attention, which I have to admit, I don't. But if you're looking at the world from those lenses, you are in a state of being unbalanced because you know deep in your core that things are shifting, that it is the time that we've all been waiting for. And that's not to put a cliche out into the world. You know this in the depths of your soul. And so part of what this equinox energy today is all about, and what you've been feeling for the last couple of days and will continue for the next couple of days, is that inner resolve to allow the inner knowing to take full command and to let the outer world reflection of what so much is trying to convince you of, to let that go, if only for a short while, to allow that balance and even to allow the knowing to step much more forward into the totality of how you're feeling and experiencing the world. It is really important to bring yourself back into balance. And we're going to go even further than that, to really take you into spaces of true joy and in embodiment of that frequency and awareness, because this will help propel us in the months to come as we continue to play out this incredible 2020 vision year, which turned out so differently than 99% of the planet intended or thought was coming when we started out the year. But we want to go into the final quarter of this year in a space of really elevated awareness and joy. of what is unfolding in the quantum levels and how to embody that here. And so celebrate. Celebrate the fact that you have that deep knowing somewhere in your soul. You know, regardless of what's being reflected in the outer world, that so much is shifting and changing. And the excitement that you feel inside is so much more the reality than what is being reflected in the outer world right now. And it's really interesting because the more we can bring in that joy and that experience of knowing more and more into our conscious awareness, even the outer reality around us that is so chaotic on the world stage, your immediate experience will profoundly shift as well.